you guys, and welcome to a day in my life. I will be reading 2 graphic novels today. I'm very excited. I have the Handmaid's Tale graphic novel, and I just got Heartstopper Volume 1 on Libby, downloaded onto my Kindle. So I think what I'm going to do is start with The Handmaid's Tale because emotionally I think I can handle it at this point in the day. I don't know about later in the day. It is definitely a rough one. And then I thought we could just erase all that terribleness that will happen in that graphic novel and read the first Heartstopper. I think I'm going to go on Libby really quick and see if the other volumes are going to be available anytime soon now that I have a free hold. So let's do that really quick and then we'll get started on The Handmaid's Tale. Okay, so I'm only a couple of pages in, but we have a couple of the, I guess, cooks in Offred's house talking about like how grateful they are that they're not a handmaid. And one just said, it's not that bad. It's not what you'd call hard work. Wow. Just wow. She's his property. She is there to have a baby with him and then go about her merry little way to have a baby with another man, whoever's next. And it is truly a horrific world to imagine. And hopefully this never happens. It's as depressing as the show, which of course it is. It's beautiful though. It's absolutely stunning in here. I am going to need Heartstopper after this for sure, but we are in a terrible world essentially and following Offred. So yeah, it's a real upper, you know. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading. It's obviously going really quickly because it is a graphic novel and I do appreciate that, but yeah, this is gonna be rough. It's already been rough and it's not gonna get better. Okay.
Seems like you've been busy since you went away. I'm just flipping through your pictures, I can tell.
Okay, we are about halfway done with The Handmaid's Tale graphic novel. It is exactly as depressing as I thought it would be, having watched the show, but it is very well done. I love the graphics. This dystopian world that could someday be a reality or close to our reality is a little horrifying, but you want to play? But it's, like I said, it's absolutely beautiful. If you are mentally able to pick this graphic novel up, go ahead. I highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm halfway through, so it's a very quick read. So let's go ahead and finish it. Let's talk about The Handmaid's Tale graphic novel. So first of all, it was stunning to look at. The pictures in this book are beautiful and horrific sometimes, depending on what part of the story you're looking at. But it is very good. I have not read the full-length novel before. I think it's now on my list. I would assume that the graphic novel takes pretty much everything from there. I don't think that like it strays at all. It definitely didn't stray from the show, but I do think that I want a little more in depth. And honestly, the way that it ended is not how the show ends. And I have heard, obviously, that the show goes like way more in depth with the story and takes Offred's story off of the page completely, especially after season 1. But the way that the graphic novel ended, I was like, this is so good. Like, this is so much better than how the show went. I don't know. The show was good. I did stop watching after, I think, season 3 because it all got too real, and I'll leave it there. So So we're going to pick up with Heartstopper, and I have the first book on my Kindle right here. I just discovered that I can also get at least the second book on Hoopla, which I cannot figure out how to get on my Kindle. I'm pretty sure that I've Googled it before and it says that you can't. You can get it on Kindle Fire. You could also get it just online, I believe, but my phone will do. So we're at least going to get through this first one, if not the second one. I had also planned today on watching the second Joker movie because it's now on HBO Max, and after the Handmaid's Tale graphic novel, I don't know that I'm in the mood for that kind of story today. I've also heard that it's not nearly as good as the first one. So we'll see. If we don't watch that, we'll watch something fun. Later on tonight, my husband and I are going to make shepherd's pie as well. It's really hard to tell, I'm sure, behind me, but it is a little bit of a gloomy day here in Austin, and shepherd's pie just sounds great. Okay, so I just finished Heartstopper Volume 1, and I get the hype. Nick and Charlie are so cute. Ben does suck. I already knew this. Everyone said, screw Ben, he sucks. I agree. I read it incredibly quickly. It is obviously a graphic novel, but I was just like tap, 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 tapping so fast with that one that I barely spent any time on it. I can see why people would want to continue the story. I totally do. My inkling is to definitely read the second one tonight, so we will do that in a little bit. I'm not sure really what I want to do now. Everyone's Bookmas videos are up on YouTube, so I could do that. I have a little bit of decluttering that I want to do as well, but I think I'm going to put that off until tomorrow. Saturdays are kind of like farmer's market, decluttering, organizing the house kind of days, and today is Friday. So I did want to show you guys how I organized my bookshelf. So let's go ahead and look at that.
Seems like you've been busy since you went away. I'm just flipping through your pictures, I can tell you look more than okay. Think I need help to feel as happy as you. Could you tell me what I'm supposed to do with?
Okay, so we're gonna start up top here, and I only have one bookshelf as of now, and I'm trying to keep it to one, maybe two bookshelves. I will explain in a little bit why, but let's start with this top shelf. So up here we have my childhood bestie, Barry. If you know, you know. Everyone's got their stuffed animal that they just loved, and he's mine. I also have this little garland here that just kind of drapes over the top. I've got a picture that I took in Hawaii the year that my sister graduated from college there, and that would have been 2003, I believe. So, picture's quite old, but it's one of the times that my whole family on both sides kind of took a vacation together, which was pretty rare. So, yeah. I also have this Prada bag that my friend gave to me. Her sister gave it to her, and she wasn't a huge fan, so she gave it to me. I have not used it yet. I kind of like just displaying it. I'm terrified of anything that is designer or even faux designer, of getting it wrecked. This little slinky is something that my husband won at like a work event or something and gave to me, so it's just cute, so I keep it. Down here we have kind of the books that are my favorites, or at least current favorites. So over here we have Fourth Wing. I just read this the other day. It was so good. I'm putting off Iron Flame just a little bit because everyone tells me that it's not as good as Fourth Wing. But the next book is coming out in January, and I definitely want to read it as soon as it comes out. So we are going to be reading Fourth Wing in the month of December, I believe, early January at the latest. Then I have my little orange bird ornament that my sister gave me for my birthday this year. She and I went to the Disney World Flower and Garden Festival in May this year, and it was so much fun, and she knows how much I love orange birds, so she gave me that. Next, we have my first ever Jellycat, the little Clementine, although we're going to pretend he's an orange. If you know, you know, with Fourth Wing, it'll just make sense. Then I have a little Christmas tree that I got from HomeSense the other day. And then we have our Jessa Hastings, specifically Magnolia Park book set. I do have the European books, the original covers, and they are stunning. At some point I would like to display them where you can actually see the covers because they are incredible. I just don't have very much room right now. On top of that, I have a little amethyst. I love amethyst. This one I got in New York City visiting my sister one year. Got it at FAO Shores of all places. Then we have a little Hello Kitty here. My dad used to do a lot of traveling for work, and he brought this home from Japan for me one year. We have another crystal here and a little fortune that is currently backwards, but it says today is the tomorrow we worried about yesterday, and the reason that I have it displayed is on the other side. It says learn Chinese and the word for pepper, which is one of my dog's names, and I just thought that was too cute, so I had to display it. Next shelf, we have my kind of fantasy slash series shelf. We have my second ever Jellycat, the little candy cane octopus. He's so cute. I know that he's holiday themed with his candy cane tentacles, but we're going to keep him probably all year round displayed. We have the Powerless series. I really like this series. I know that a lot of people were not huge fans of Reckless, and while I agree it was definitely like a transition, get them to the next story kind of book, I really liked it. I think it answered questions that we needed answered. So then I have a little clock. Just got this from, I think, Target. So we're going to move this out of the way. Behind here, I have Wild Love, Wild Eyes from Elsie Silver. I'm really liking this series and will be picking up the third book when it comes out next year. I have my beloved Katie Robert books, Hunt on Dark Water and Blood on the Tide. These are such fun, like pirate fantasy romancy books. They're just silly. They're pretty smutty. I don't know. They're a good time. A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I'm only 2 books in. I will be getting that third book down soon. I just don't know when. Honestly, I like the series, but it's not my favorite. So we're going to take our time with that one. Then I got a special edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone from a bookstore in Colorado. It has some sprayed edges with the snitch on it, and I just love it. Never by Jessa Hastings, Belladonna by Adeline Grace. We will be finishing that series as well. Again, just don't have time to do it all at once, and I like switching up every now and then. The final bookshelf of my physical books for this year that I have is down here. So we have another Amethyst. This one I got in, I believe, Arkansas on a family trip. My husband picked it out for me in a little shop, and I love it. Then we've got Beach Read by Emily Henry. I just finished this one yesterday. It's so good. I love it so much. We have Hiding Him by Adam Hatton. Similar to Heartstopper in the way that it's a first love story, and it is also set in the UK. There's a decent amount of similarities, but this one definitely is different and unique and just as adorable as Heartstopper, in my opinion. Then we have Summer Romance by Animal Monaghan, Dead Romantics, 7 Year Slip, and A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. And then we transition into more literary fiction. So Everything We Never Knew by Julianne Hough and Ellen Goodlit. Sorry. This is How You Lose a Time War. Cursed Bread. By the way, slight tangent. If you've never read Cursed Bread by Sophie McIntosh, oh my gosh, is it wild? I did film a little reading vlog when I was reading this, but I was a little too nervous to upload anything at that point. It is such a wild ride. Highly recommend if you like books that are just like you don't see it coming. It was really good. I think I read it 3 or 4 stars. Just, I never stopped thinking about that book, so it's crazy. We have Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. I just got The Unmaking of June Farrow, and we'll be reading that as well soon. So many books on my TBR, but I really liked Spells for Forgetting. It was my favorite, or it was my first book of hers, and I really liked it. It was good. I do think that I could have, I don't know. I really liked it. We'll leave it there. Then we've got A Little Lantern. We had these at our wedding. This one needs to be dusted badly, but we had these as part of our centerpieces at our wedding, and I kept one and only one. It reminds me of that day. So then we have our mystery thriller section. So we have this kind of by color, but then we've got our 2 hardcovers behind there. So we have The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hildebrandt. This book I bought for myself, my mom, and my sister, all for us to read and then watch the show together when I was in Colorado. Unfortunately, we just didn't have time for that. My mom was recovering from surgery, and my grandma was also in the hospital at the same time. So we all watched it. Well, they watched it together. I watched it separately. it was okay. um, I will probably be reading another Ellen Hildebrandt book at some point, but I didn't like it enough to immediately pick up more books, so that's that. Then we have The Clinic by Kate Quinn. This book was interesting. I don't know, similar to Ellen Hildebrandt. I'll probably read some more of her books, just not immediate buys. We have That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. This book I really loved, and I believe that it was her debut novel. It is such a good time in the way that, like, for your brain, it's a good time. It's a wild ride. Very sad, lots of trigger warnings. I don't know why I said it was a good time. I did enjoy reading it, so I stand by that, but that was a little misleading. It's crazy. Then we have an art copy of Give Me Something Good to Eat. This is just a young adult, in fact, I think it's probably middle grade book about Halloween, and it's actually pretty cute. Then we have The Four. This book I just read recently as well. I really, really liked The Four. It is definitely one you need to check for trigger warnings by. Yeah, it's an impactful read, I'll put it that way. Then we have The Fury by Alex Michaelides, and I was really thinking in my head that this was going to be giving Glass Onion vibes, and while I like the narration of the story, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more than what it was. I don't know. I liked it, didn't love it. Next, and finally, we have the writing retreat. This I also just finished very recently this week. I've been reading a lot this month, which is great. But the writing retreat by Julia Bartz, this one was wild as well. I need to find a different word other than wild, but I really, really liked this one. This is about a group of aspiring writers who go on this retreat at their, like, idol author's mountain home in the middle of nowhere, and things are not what they seem, and I'll leave it there. But yeah, I've got this little candle here that my old boss gave me. I just like the quote on it, and it's cute, and I haven't burned it yet. Down here on this last shelf is some of my husband's books slash miscellaneous things. So we have some markers. Some scented markers. We have some of his books in the background. Strange Planet, hilarious comic strip. We've got an adult coloring book. Again, a lot of his books. We don't really know what we're going to do with these yet. That's why they're just kind of sitting here. I've got 2 journals and some TBR prompts and some pens. So yeah, that's my bookshelf. I know, very exciting. That was a little tour of my bookshelf. I hope that was entertaining at least a little bit. I am slowly working on what I want this room to look like. I have some pictures and a mirror down there on the floor that will be hung up probably tomorrow. I think I know where I want them to go. And yeah, this room was originally a guest room, and so I'm just kind of transitioning it into what I want it to be. And that being said, it's going to be temporary. We are planning to move in the next 2 years or so, and we want this to be a big move where we actually get rid of a lot of things. So I am unsure if I'll get a second bookcase. If I do, it's probably going to be like one of those small, like, cubby ones. But yeah, I am running out of room on my bookshelf currently. We do have some room downstairs on some shelving there too. So things might transition down there as time goes on, but I'm really trying to hold myself accountable and read more things on my Kindle over the next couple years until we make that transition, and only own physical copies of books that I truly, truly love. So that's the plan. That's why the bookshelf will probably always be in transition. There are a few books on here that I can definitely see myself either donating or giving to friends, family, half price books, anything like that. So we'll see how it all turns out in the end, but that's the plan for now, to make a very large move in the next 2 years. So trying not to accumulate a lot of stuff. Also just better for the environment, and a lot of people are actively spending less money on things as well, with just like the economy and all that kind of stuff. So maybe my journey of just trying to buy less physical things can help inspire someone else that also needs to do the same thing and just is holding off because it's extremely hard. So, yeah. Anyways, let's take a little break from books. Let's watch something, I don't know what, and then we'll start dinner in a little bit. I'll check in with you guys in a minute.